Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to have a little chat about what could be a whole bunch of leaked releases, basically. So, pretty much everything from November and December, everything before the year is out, in fact, might well have just been released out into the wild. So, I'm getting this from Fate212, which is the vast majority of the links that you guys sent me. So a whole bunch of people messaged me on Twitter and actually emailed as well. I'm like, hey, have you seen this? Most of you have linked me here. It seems to have originated from a Spanish website. So we'll go off this one, and I will put the images in the video so you can have a look yourselves. It looks like an Excel spreadsheet that has just been separated into different sections. It's impossible to tell what those sections are because there's no key or anything. It's just a big long list of things. But the things we can see on this, the things that stand out the most, I mean, it's a big long thing of literally everything. So there's going to be a few things that are more important, more relevant than others to us specifically, especially 40k related. There is Start Collecting Chaos Space Marines and Start Collecting Primaris Space Marines, which are two things that have caught my eye. At the moment, there is no Start Collecting Chaos Space Marines. That disappeared when the Chaos Space Marines box was redone, when we had new Chaos Space Marine models, and that Start Collecting disappeared at the same time, obviously. So that coming back is not a massive surprise. I hadn't realised that they still hadn't updated it, to be honest. The thing that surprised me was me going, oh, it's gone, and they haven't replaced it yet. Okay. There's also Start Collecting Primaris Space Marines, which I've been waiting for ages. Not because I particularly want it, but just because it seems weird that there isn't one already. Just a generic Primaris Space Marine Start Collecting box seems like something that should have been around quite a while ago, but apparently that is on its way. There is also Chaos Space Marine Sorcerer, which we have seen rumours about, which is kind of, if this turns out to be correct, is a good indication that that's the way that that's going. I was going to say confirmation, but this isn't confirmation because it's a picture of an Excel spreadsheet. It could well be just something that someone's made up. They've gone to a lot of effort if they have just made it up, but you never know. So still, bit of salt with this. It also lists Psychic Awakening 2 Faith and Fury and Sisters of Battle launch set. So that stuff, I mean, to be honest, Start Collecting for Chaos and Primaris Space Marines, it does not surprise me at all, and so that strikes me as being it looks pretty legit. We've already heard rumours about a Chaos Space Marine Sorcerer being released. We know that Book 2 is called Faith and Fury for Psychic Awakening, and we know that Sisters of Battle launch set is on the way anyway, so, a few of those seem pretty believable, shall we say. There's a whole bunch of stuff on a previous one as well. I'm showing you the ones with most of the 40k stuff on, but there is one that's got a whole load of stuff for like the Mortek Guard, the Mortek Crawler, all of the Ossiarch Bone Reaper stuff is listed in another one, along with the Zone Mortalis floors, bases, and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of actual things that we know are coming, but whether that strengthens this or not is entirely up to you, because if we know it's coming, then it's not a huge leap for someone to place that in somewhere to make things seem more legit, shall we say. Okay, so along with that stuff, actually I'm assuming that the bit with the Start Collectings, the Psychic Awakening, Sisters of Battle, and the Sorcerer are November for 40k. I'm assuming that that's how that's working there, which means that the next section after that would be December, which makes the most sense to me. It's just guesswork. It's not like I'm not trying to confirm anything. That just would make sense with how that's broken down, since we have a rough idea of when things are coming out, basing it around the Sisters of Battle stuff anyway. And in fact, the Sisters of Battle launch set, depending on what that actually contains, if it's just the one box, that's a bit of a disappointing launch in a way, because I would have hoped for more alongside it, but we'll see. So, there is also what looks like confirmation of various battle forces. So there's the Chaos Space Marine Battle Force, Drukhari Battle Force, Blood Angels Battle Force, Tyrannis Battle Force, Space Wolves Battle Force, and Tau Battle Force. So that's a whole bunch of stuff that we'd had previously talked about being essentially confirmed if this turns out to be true. Again, Blood Angels and Space Wolves. If that is accurate, and it is both, then that is genuinely surprising to me, because that is two like non-standard Codex chapters that are going out for the Battle Forces. But I'm not complaining, I'm just going to be interested to see what is contained therein. I mean, whether it's just all Primaris, whether we see a mix of old and new, that's going to be the deciding factor, I think, as to whether those battle forces look any good to me. So yeah, I think most of that pretty much matches what we saw before, because the rest of it is accurate to what we'd heard. The only difference was there was some confusion whether it was Blood Angels and Space Wolves, or whether it was Blood Angels and Salamanders, or Space Wolves and Salamanders. That now looks to be that Salamanders weren't going to get a look in at all. So that overall seems in line with what we've heard before. There's also, a bunch of it's either Age of Sigmar stuff, or it's stuff that is related to, so like Underworlds or whatever. So there's a bunch of Stormcast Eternal stuff and Nighthaunt, Gloomspike, Gitz, and Skaven. So yeah, we'll just have to see what the context of those is. The other interesting thing in there is Mephiston and Psychic Awakening Blood of Baal. So looks like the third book is going to be Blood of Baal, and it does say Mephiston, so there is a chance there that we will see a Primaris Mephiston, which is interesting, but I don't know what people make of that. For some reason I would have thought Dante would be first up for that treatment anyway, although he is ancient as hell, so would he survive the crossing over? I don't know. But that would be another Space Marine, hero, so to speak, switched over to Primaris, which we knew was going to happen a fair bit. Interestingly, among with that is the Tyranids Hive Tyrant repackage and Tyranids Termagant Brood repackage as well, along with Chapter Approved and Kill Team Annual. That's interesting to me, because that kind of suggests that stuff we've heard before, that Blood Angels and Tyranids would be the focus for the third Psychic Awakening book. Maybe that is actually accurate. A repackaging of both of those Tyranid models, along with that book and an upgraded Mephiston to Primaris. The timing's pretty good. The timing's pretty good there to tie it all together, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, to be honest, it all seems plausible. It all seems feasible. It seems in line with what we've heard before. There is a notable lack of certain things. So we were talking about things like Black Templars and stuff not getting any models. There is nothing suggesting Black Templars gets anything in this list. I keep seeing stuff about Black Templars versus Emperor's Children as a box, which this seems to completely not mention at all. I was not 100% convinced about that particular one anyway, to be honest with you. That seemed more like conjecture than any actual real rumours. Interestingly, no Black Templars versus Orcs box, though. Which is something that, I got that rumour leak, well, clearly rumour not leak now, ages ago. Made a video about that, and it seemed pretty plausible, but there's no mention of it here at all. So, obviously, again, that may be either a misdirection thing, or a misinformation thing, or just a wishlist thing. We don't know. We won't know for a while as to whether anything like that even shows up, because it's not here for November and December, if this list as it is accurate, which would mean it would have to be next year if it did happen. The rumour said November, and there's no mention of it here, so disappointing, but stuff like that where it's just like, there's going to be a box, it's worth talking about, but it's always worth taking a mountain of salt with it. So, yeah, I don't know. As I say, a lot of this is in line with what we've heard before. There is a little bit of fresh information, there is stuff, with the name of the third book and stuff like that, but it does confirm, if it is true, stuff that we already suspected, which is no real focus on Black Templars, a relatively small release for Sisters of Battle by the look of it, just the box, and I can't see anything else, and that Chaos Space Marine Sorcerer does look to be imminent. The Battle Forces do match up with what we've heard. Interesting stuff there. Yeah, it's going to be the wait and see thing of, let's see what part of this is accurate and which parts are inaccurate. I'd be, to be honest, surprised if we suddenly got like a bunch of surprise releases that aren't in line with this, because this looks pretty par for the course. But we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, let me know what you think of that list in the in the comments down below whether anything jumps out at you as being unusual or not likely, or whether this seems to be pretty legit. Is there anything in there that you think might be a wasted opportunity, a lack of something you were looking forward to? And yeah, just speculate away as to whether this is accurate or not, because that's all we can do until we have all this stuff out and see if it matches the next couple of months. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description that you can click to take you to Element Games. So if you buy something, I get something for sending you that way. It's a nice, easy way to support the channel. Everything there is like 15 to 25% cheaper than you buy from Games Workshop. And 10% of all the stuff you spend in that link goes to charity as well. So nice thing you can do if you'd like to, but you don't have to. I leave it completely up to you. I'll see you for the next one. Toodaloo.